My love for sneakers came from my cousins, Kenro, Kelson, and Kessler. Kenro and Kessler are twins, and Kelson is a younger brother. Growing up, I would always see the three of them wearing matching snapbacks, t-shirts, and sneakers. They always put their outfits together so well, and as a kid I admired that. The thing I admired the most is how little they cared what people thought of their clothes. They were so confident. I remember when I was younger, my mom would get mad at them for wearing their hats in every one of our family photos. They were not bothered in the slightest by this. Sometimes they would take their hats off in respect to my mother, but for the most part, they stayed true to themselves in every photo. After a while, my cousin's fashion choices seemed like a thing of the past, but things changed when my cousin Priscilla became more prevalent in my life. I saw Priscilla when I was a kid, but we were never close. This was until she moved into my house. I never had any siblings before, so this was a really weird change for me. Eventually, she became someone I really grew to love and respect. She is a Will Smith to my Ashley Banks, literally. Like Will Smith in The Fresh Prince, Priscilla took some getting used to. She was so different from my parents and I. I was so enthralled by how cool she was and how different she was from the friends I had growing up. Kenro, Kelson, and Kessler are the reason I came to love sneakers, but Priscilla is the reason I went out to the store to buy them. I remember the first time I went to Foot Locker. I was with my dad and Priscilla, and my dad, being the generous guy he is, bought us sneakers. Priscilla got Converse, and I got Converse too. I got gray and navy blue low tops, and I also got this green pair of high tops. It was one size too big, but I had to have. I wore those sneakers every day.
About the beginning stages of like the Adidas shell toe, Air Force One high. I think sport had a lot to do with that because sports along the way stopped being just about athletics. It became pop culture.
So we looked at pop culture and made it mean something more to us than just average things like, is it good leather?
So Run DMC, my Adidas, with the way they wore Adidas, they had the first endorsement deal for a non-athlete with the $1 million contract with Adidas. Hip hop started going mainstream. Then what rappers wore started going mainstream.
It's street culture. As hip hop emerged and this new style culture that came along with Jordans, skateboarding came along the same way and blended all aspects of design and street culture.
Where the money at? Yeah. Give me money, give me cash, give me dollars.
16.
16, here you go.
That's 16, that's $1,600. They're called sneakerheads.
Like the feeling of Freddy's on your feet?
I do like
You love it.
Teens obsessed with shoes.
Highest offers 1,000.
Running an aftermarket boom of limited edition kicks.
A sneakerhead is someone who marries fashion and sneakers. Someone who buys something they love, wears it, and it's part of his or her lifestyle.
How was it growing up for you guys getting sneakers?
I used to hustle for mine.
I couldn't get a pair of these to save my life.
Really?
So these days I make sure I don't miss a pair.
$79 finish line, OG price tag on the box with the laminated retro card, the one, you know what I'm saying? I got 3 different years. And the crazy shit, I did this with my homies, you can compare the different blues and the different leathers. Like, it's 3 different, like, materials on the check.
Welcome to my home. Of course, I got about a good 4 or 5 different closets spread out through the entire house, just filled with shoes.
Here's are the Coven Hearts, only 6 in the world.
This one right here?
This is a promo sample.
Oh wow, how'd you get this?
The designer came to the farm, he's like, I have a gift for you, he gave me these and the other ones.
There's plenty to see. The ones that we have on the floor are the ones that I use on a day-to-day basis. Here's one of my closets, which I can't even walk in here anymore. This is actually my kids', what is supposed to be my kids' room, but it's become like a storage room.
I remember my uncle buying me my first pair of Air Max. I think it was 87 or Air Max 1. I think I was in like 5th grade.
The first pair of sneakers that actually got me into the sneaker game, I was in 5th grade. The Galaxy pack came out and I got the LeBrons. I love sneakers after that.
I ended up with this really close group of friends who had really similar interests to mine. These friends were all from downtown Chicago and they loved sneakers. All they could talk about was buying and reselling them. I was so interested in what they were talking about. My friend Bintu once talked about the time when she lived in New York and how she used to go to Flight Club. I looked up Flight Club when my parents and I went to New Jersey to visit my family over spring break. I went to Flight Club in New York City. It was amazing. I had never seen so many shoes in my life. I got a pair of Nike SBs, and when I wore them to school, my friends were giving me so many compliments. I felt like I was on air. I wore these shoes to school every day, and wearing them made me revisit my love for sneakers.